I feel like Kamala actually does wear the pants in this relationship. And I don't think that's like a joke or something funny because she's the vice president and he's first gentleman. Like, it genuinely looks like that. Hey everybody, my name's Anthony Resinello. I'm a social and relationship coach living in Los Angeles, and today I'm gonna react to Vice President Kamala Harris and her husband, Doug?
First gentleman.
Second gentleman.
This-
First, second gentleman.
Okay,
is
I'm
happening?
afraid for the next week or month or year of your life, you're going to be doing something like you just had to do with me.
Yeah, it's all good.
He's like a little silly boy, isn't he? I could tell he's gonna be a silly boy.
There was a whole conversation about, mostly among his friends, whether he should just be called the first dude.
First dude.
And other names that I can't repeat on national television.
You totally Googled him, didn't you?
Ooh, this is a reveal.
I've never been asked that.
Ooh.
I did.
How did they not know this?
Okay.
Oh, that's so funny
Wow,
you asked me
she
that
kept
question.
that a secret.
So yes, my best friend set us up on a blind date, and she said, "Just trust me, just trust me, just don't even, you know."
He's a hottie boy. He's a silly boy, and he's a hottie boy, and he's a big boy. Just trust me on this one. Go on the date. All three of these are true.
One of my buddies was in town, and we went to the Laker game. And so, you know, we had a couple of beers. I told him the story. I said, "What do you think?" I said, "Text her." So we sat there in the stands and came up with this text, which was something like, "Hey, it's Doug."
Whoa.
Awkward. I'm texting you. And
You
she
guys
said,
composed it together?
We did.
Yeah.
So that's my reveal. And she, which is funny, she said something like, "Yay, Lakers, go Lakers."
And I'm a Warriors
biggest
fan.
Warriors fan out there. So,
The next morning,
She just wanted that big
early,
silly boy.
you strike me as a very centered person and a calming presence.
thank you. I understand the role she's taking and the role that Joe and Jill are taking on too, and become very close with them. So like, I support her, I support them, and that's important.
I feel like Kamala actually does wear the pants in this relationship. And I don't think that's like a joke or something funny because she's the vice president and he's first gentleman. Like, it genuinely looks like that. Just the way that Kamala was looking, she was like looking proudly, but also like in a very dominant way. Like, that's my husband, that's correct. That's right, that's my man. Let him be who he is to you, and to the world I present him to you. Like, she has that strong, and he's just like, and I'm doing these things, and it was this, and you know, me and the other senator husbands got together for some hot dogs and whatever.
I grew up with Chucks. I just love them. They're comfortable.
I can attest. There is several closets full of them.
He's exaggerating.
But yeah, this wasn't just something that she started.
Do you notice how when he speaks, he doesn't really open his mouth that much? That's more of like a shy thing. It's trying to show that he's not trying to, you know, take up a lot of space in the room. So when he speaks, I can attest. It's like a cute little shy thing. Yeah.
These are serious times, and the challenges are incredibly serious, but we don't take ourselves too seriously in the context of our relationship. You can't. And you just have to flow and also just know what's really important.
Yeah, and I could tell that about them. They seem like really fun, loving, happy couple. Doug's personality seems like that type of person where anything you asked him, he'd be up for it. Like, hey Doug, you want to go to that restaurant where they serve like live frogs in your mouth? He'd be like, yeah, whatever, man, let's do it. Like, he just seems like the type of person that is always up for anything.
The law firm I was at that time had tasked me to open a San Francisco office, which was amazing luck, as it would have it, because I was started to date Kamala Harris at that time. And after several months, you know, because we were in our, you know, mid to late 40s, and we were kind of like, you know, I'd famously sent her an email with something like, hey, I'm too old to, you know, hide the ball. I'm really into this. Let's just make this work. So we decided to give it 6 months. And just not talk about it. And if at the end of that 6 months, we still felt the way we did. We were just going to go for it. And that's exactly what happened.
That's a good idea. It's like such an unusual way to go about it, but it kind of works. It's like, let's just try this relationship for 6 months. Let's not talk about the relationship for 6 months. And at the end of the 6 months, if we're still good, let's just keep going. To me, that feels more like something to do in your 40s, in your 50s. At the same time, there's a lot of people getting in relationships in their 40s, 50s, and 60s right now. And they got together quickly, but it looked like it worked for them.
Met Kamala on a blind date set up by legendary filmmaker Reginald Hudlin. He and his wife, Chrisette Hudlin, came in to see me as a lawyer. And I was just, sitting there doing my thing. And Chrisette Hudlin, after the meeting, they were not happy because they were in a terrible dispute, and just kind of looked at me. And we all have our version of the story, but essentially was, "Are you single?" And I said, "Why are you asking?" And he said, "I got a friend I've known for 30 years, and I just think you guys are going to be amazing together." I'm like, "Okay, who is it?" Kamala Harris. I'm like, "Kamala Harris." This is like 7.5, 8 years ago. I said, "How do I know that name?" "She's the Attorney General." I said, "Oh my God, she's hot." That Kamala Harris. And I said, "You're trying to set me on a blind date with Kamala Harris." And she was. And it was kind of old school. She gave me her number and said, "Don't mess this up. This is confidential, and if you do, we may be looking for." I got hired. I did get hired. But,
if you do,
I did. And yeah, we may be looking for a new lawyer, and it was just kind of funny. You're debating. So do I text the Attorney General? So I did. I texted her that night, and she did text me back. And then I think she wrote about this in her book. The next morning, I did that. So I had an early meeting, 7:30, 8 o'clock. Don't call her. She called her, went right to voicemail. And people of my generation, it was like the Swingers scene when John Favreau just keeps calling, and that's what I didn't. She saved the voicemail. It was really lame. Plays it to me every year on our anniversary.
No way.
And she liked it so much, she called me back. And she never calls, like she's working.
I wonder what that voicemail was. This type of stuff blows my mind, but there's men that I know that are intimidated by women that have more power or whatever than them. And that just confuses me. Like, I guess I just don't understand the whole aspect of a man needing to feel like powerful for his woman. Like, that stuff doesn't come up in my brain. So the idea of a man going, I don't want to date, I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody that I feel is better than me, has more value than me, is more powerful than me. For people like Doug, like he said, they were on the date, they were walking through the restaurant and people were looking, and he goes, "Oh, you're a bigger deal than I thought." It didn't intimidate him. It didn't make him feel strange or emasculated. It seemed to have made him more attracted to her. I guess I can't tell a man, "Hey, stop caring about that." I mean, if that is how you feel, I guess that's how you feel. But it's something to point out. And it's the same way for me. I don't have any qualms about being with somebody that is more successful than me or anything like that. I think that's it.